Why don't you start? Go ahead, please.
So we are meeting today regarding creating a formal front for our Indian comics scholars group, where where we are aiming to create formal organization, a formal association for the group, and going right to the business. There are a number of cons before I tell you about the pros, which I'm sure you all know already. Um, the con is that the main problem of doing this is that we need to face an annual audit every year, and where we need to show how much we have spent as a formal group, how much we have earned, and so on and so forth, as it happens in the case of audits. Secondly, uh, there are no existing rules or regulations that govern an academic association per se, since we will be an academic association. So we have to register under the Societies Act. So our association, our organization will be registered under the Societies Act, uh, where there will be some paperwork involved, and there are people who could do this for some amount of money, where we don't need to run about with documents. But these are the two things that are there in the formation of the society, as far as uh, my knowledge goes, or as far as I have known from asking the people who already have their associations. So now this is what I wanted to say, but I did not talk about the pros. The pro is that we will have something formal, we will have something official, which will help us to go ahead and do some other uh, activities, which as an informal WhatsApp or Facebook group we won't be able to accomplish. For example, as in the earlier days, maybe in 2021, I guess, um, there was a meeting regarding the, the possibility of starting an online journal, which shall require a website and a formal organization or something like that. So, keeping that in mind, I think the natural step, the next step, should be a formal organization, a formal registration of our activities with people on board, or people like being the president or secretary or things like that, in the format of Comic Studies Society abroad. So that's what I wanted to tell all the people present here. Now, Ononna and then everyone else can chip in and say how they can help, what is that is there in their minds, how we can contribute to all this.
First of all, what I was wondering about, because I have not done this before, and Pritesh, you seem to have quite a bit of information about this. Could you please tell us whether we need, some kind of a legal help? Do we need to, consult with a lawyer or something in order to get the registration done? Do you know anything about this? Because I am really not aware.
No, we don't really need any lawyer's advice. We just need to file a few papers. We just need to have a few documents with us, and
And the bank
with
account, I believe.
yeah, I guess so. And it could be anyone's bank account for the time being. And what requires is some amount of time for a person to run about. Like, you know how things work in the government sector. So that's the only thing, and there are people like who would take an amount of 2 to 3 thousand rupees to do the running for us, and they will create this. They will help us in the process. However, we don't need a lawyer at this stage.
Okay. And this paperwork or this running around, is this to be done in New Delhi or Kolkata, or what is the location?
Since it could be done anywhere, I mean, it could be all over India, but many of us are from Kolkata, or I know things that happen in Kolkata, or the office where the registration is done. Hence, it can be done from Kolkata, or it can be done from Delhi, it can be done from any part of India.
All right. If anybody else has any other suggestions to offer, if they have some experience in being a part of such a, committee or a body, if you would like to share a bit of your experience that may help us, please go ahead. I believe there were certain members in the group who had mentioned that they had done this before. Partho was here, but Partho had to leave for another meeting. Partho is a member of the Comic Studies Society, of the USA. If he was here, and he's a member at large, he has been voted member at large. If he was here, he could have mentioned. You've given us a few pointers about how to go about this process actually. So Pritesh was saying that we need to do some paperwork, register ourselves under the Societies Act, maybe have a bank account, and also once we get our paperwork in order, we need to face an annual audit. So that's the gist of it, right?
Yes,
Okay, somebody in the group says that someone is unable to join.
I think this is Anand.
Please join by this. Maybe he's trying with the old link. Just gave him the new link. I believe this is the person who has curated a lot of arts festivals and literature meets. Maybe he can give us some kind of a pointer.
Yes, if this is Anand Mohan, then he is the person who said that he could help us.
Uh, Pritesh and others, what I want to ask is, because I want to get some clarity on this, do you think this is feasible? Can we really do this, or are we biting off more than we can chew? What do you think?
Well, I am of the view that unless we bite, we don't know what we are chewing. So I think we should keep biting small nippets at time. I think this could be done, and this should be done. The only thing that bothers me, or that makes me no, this is not Anand Mohan, this is Afreen. What bothers me is that where 18 people filled the form, as I can see in the response sheet. We are here nine. We are nine people here,
Nine people,
and
yes.
yes, and somebody needs to take an initiative. Somebody needs to keep on take the initiatives to make this happen. The problem that I face constantly, or most of you face constantly, is the fact that of commitment. Right?
Yeah.
Yes, Horsho is also
Hello,
here.
Hot Show. Yes.
Um,
Welcome.
uh, we just need to be committed, and anything we can do a lot of stuff. So I, I would say that the formation of the society can be done. It could be done through uh, some documents, some running around. It could be done, but my concern would be to keep it running. And as I and Horsho agreed the other day, that this is the natural next step, and we should move towards this. And if
Mm.
we get uh, the support, somebody says that they can handle the social media, somebody said that they could go for the computer related works, and if we all do our share,
Yeah.
then I'm sure that we
Yeah.
can make it. Harsha, you want to say something?
Yes, go ahead, Harsha, please.
Yeah, I think firstly you should try and organize events as much as you can to make the people in our country slightly aware of the comics field, comics
True.
graphic novels, etc. Because they are slightly, well, especially in Kolkata, we are very dated. The
True.
general people mindset in Kolkata for comics is what they used to read, Matul Digred, etc., etc.
Yep.
And in the nowadays trend, manga. So I don't have a problem with that, but manga, I do have a problem, big sort. I know that Ananya, you work in the manga field quite a lot. My problem
Indeed.
is basically the creation part, where, for example, if we create manga, the Japanese don't recognize it as manga. So why is
Ah, that is a
it so
problem, yes.
widespread?
But then again, what is manga?
Manga is a
I
form
mean,
of comics, but eventually it was created by the Japanese. It's prevalent in the Japanese, and for some reason or the other, in recent times, in the last 3, 4 years, or maybe actually we've been
10
inspired
years.
by what happened in Delhi and Bangalore and the Comic Cons and the Kolkata and contingent. They have actually sprung from there. The interest has sprung from there, and as
Mm.
a result, what they are seeing right now is they're liking one or two characters and they're focusing on that stories and this. So, for example, in the cosplay events, which is where their manga, well, liking is bringing to effect. That's where we see them, for example, in the recent event we had at KCC. So,
Yes.
did either of you go for the? Did any of you in the group over here right now? Did any of you attend that? You were there, Nunna, but the others,
Yes. I
did any
did,
of
but
you
that
attend
goes
that?
without saying. But I don't know if anybody else was there.
So, for example, for the cosplay event over there, when people had to go over there and talk about the characters they were portraying, act as them. When I asked them separately later on during the event, what happened? What do you know about the characters? The little bit I found out was that they like some characters quite a lot. They like some comics quite a lot and focus on that. Now, personally, I don't
Yes.
have a problem with that. What I do have a problem with the manga situation is that, for example, if I create a manga comic, I'll call it a manga, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the Japanese mainstream, they will not consider your work a manga until it's done by a Japanese person, which technically is not correct because I've seen lots of creators in Europe also
Mm,
who
exactly.
are creating manga and their things are prevalent. But this is the knowledge that I have somehow found. I don't know how true
Mm.
that is, how correct it is. So technically, you can create manga in India, but the main people, the Japanese, who are the creators of manga, who keep on creating manga, they will not recognize your work as officially manga. So technically, I don't have a problem. Basically, I'm saying you should try and embrace all sorts of comic enthusiasm.
Yes, indeed.
But the manga
Indeed.
scene out here in Kolkata, unfortunately, they sort of prevail on their interest in this only. Whereas what I'm
Mm.
saying, they try to expand your reach. So, for
Certainly.
example, recent workshops that I've done in schools, and there was one event organized by what's the thing called? It's Telegraph, one of their Telegraph, Edu Telegraph or something like that, EduGraph, whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
they had done an event last month where at one of the schools, it's one school not terribly far away from Calicut.
Mm.
So what was it called? Sorry, bad with names, can't remember the name exactly. Very nice school, but there were about 9 or 10 attendants over there, and one youngster. He was in class 4, but he drew very nicely. And when I told him that why don't you, and he was drawing in the manga style only.
Mm-hmm.
So when I asked the young kid, why don't you experiment in other styles also? Why fixed on this? So he expressed an interest that he said that this is what I do. So that
Mm.
is technically I don't have a problem. It's good. But if you're doing comics, you should experiment with all styles. You should get
True,
to know about
true.
all types of comics. Shouldn't get occupied with only one stream. So this we have
Mm-hmm.
to do something. And one suggestion I had meant to Pritesh is that what we can try and do is see all of you right now in the group, you are researching on comics, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even I used to research in comics. Right now,
Mm-hmm.
the last 20 years, I've been focusing on creating comics, not researching on
True,
them. So
true,
what we
true.
can try and do is we can show, I'm planning a book. So this is one thing that I told Pritesh that if you want, uh, about 40, 50 of you can join in over here. So what I'm trying to do is I want to create a book of, let's say, this is, let's say, book one of a series
Mhm.
of books on the
Right.
great comic creators,
Hmm.
comics and graphic novel, the great creators, let's say, in this field, in which
Right.
you will have different segments. One segment will be on Indian creators in the
Hmm.
past and Indian creators at present, which sadly
Hmm.
enough, very few people know about, especially in India. We in
Mm.
India know very little about the creators that are residing over here in our country and doing works in different media. Very
Hmm.
few people.
Hmm.
And the media, which was earlier, even 8 years back, the media was very helpful and they were helping us to promote our works by letting people know about it. Nowadays, the media has gone completely dry. And when I'm asking them
Mm.
to showcase, let's say, a graphic novel or comic by me, which has come out, they're asking me, how much am I getting out of it? How much money are you sponsoring?
Mm.
Which is the wrong way.
Mm.
That's whenever the
Mm.
media has actually become tainted quite a lot. So we can't technically do anything about it. But what we can try and do is if we create, let's say, a book where we are showcasing roughly around, let's say, 50 great comic creators around the world, in which, let's say, there's a segment about the great creators of the past, the great creators of the present. Let's say one section where we focus only on the manga field, one section where we focus only on the Indian segment of the past,
Mm.
of the present, one segment where we focus on very famous guys, like let's say the creators of Tintin and Asterix,
Mm.
and let's
Is it
say,
like
you
the
know,
comics and graphics volumes that are comics or graphics volumes which are coming out? Is it something like that?
infographics was done basically, two books were done, two or three
Three,
books were done.
three. I have
Two,
three in my
right?
collection. Yes.
So they were correct. So they were basically compilations of big, long, write-ups about them. Where I'm not saying that big. What I'm talking about is, let's say, for the first book, I'm thinking of a 150-page book, 150 or 160-page book, where imagine you're talking about 40 different great writers and artists. Not just
Mm.
artists, I'm talking about writers as well. There have been very nice writers in the comic media in
True.
different fields. So they should also not be forgotten. So if we
Hmm.
tackle 40 such things, imagine each story, each segment contains one author or one writer, where you're going to have one piece, one page, which will be drawn by me. And I'll be asking one of my friends in our Mad Bongs team, Charbak, to also help out with that. But the remaining 3 pages will contain a very nice write up about that particular person, that writer or artist, where you talk
Hmm.
about, his works and
Right.
what he's done and how he or she should be famous and how well we should remember that person. So that write up and the picture, with there will be some connection also. There will be some elements of what you're talking about. So, for example, let's say if we're talking about Mike Mignola, so and you're talking about the different characters he's created, the universes he's created. So that will reflect also in the pictures. That will be there in the pictures as well as in the write up. So,
Mm.
like that, if any of you are interested in the group, just like I've told Pritesh, just check in the group if anybody is interested in that. So you can share with me which writers or artists you want to focus on, and
Certainly.
so
That seems
if
to be
that can be done,
quite a momentous project that you are undertaking. And
technically it won't be that problematic. Imagine if we are doing something like 40 characters, and if 40 people take over writing, a 3-page article on each one of them, and so writing wise, let's say you'll get roughly around a month to do research and compile your data and write in a very nice way. So
mm,
that's 1 month easily done. And for the art process, if we have 40 characters, I'll ask Charbak to at least help out with 10 characters, and I'll do the remaining 30, and I think get done in 2 months. So basically,
that's
in 2 months,
wonderful.
the project can be wrapped up very quickly. And this will be completely in black and white, so I think the printing expenses will be pretty low. And
Mm.
this now, what I'm talking about is for all of you who are associated with different colleges, schools, universities. Number one, you can try and see if the colleges can prescribe copies, so that when you give it for, let's say, about 500 prints, it'll be good
Hmm.
to know that the copies will partially be there in the schools and colleges for youngsters and those who are researching on comics to find out, to get data from. One more thing is to be slightly sure of one thing. So nowadays, this problem has come in. Earlier, when we used to create comics, we used to create write-ups or even comics about artists and writers. We didn't have to inform them. But nowadays, there seems to be a slight worry in the minds of everybody when I talk about creating a non-fiction topic, a comic on even comic or even writer on a very famous author. So, for example, like once upon a time, I remember about 4 years back, I created a comic on Mike Mignola and 5 pages. Did with another friend based in US, Shomo, and we created the 5 page comic on Mike Mignola, and it was also used in Shondish. I think I had passed it on to them for the Bengali version of that. So later on, we created another comic of Mike Mignola, and together, Shomo, since he stays over there and he meets Mignola at different comic cons, he actually showed it to him, and he
Mhm.
appreciated it, said he liked it quite a lot. But I'm saying now it's become a process that if you don't let the person you're writing about, talking about, know a little bit, there might be some problem from his side or her side. So, for example, if you're doing, let's say, one write up about, let's say, Apupen, it would be
Mhm.
good to get a go ahead from his side, just to check. Are you okay if we do an article on you? So, I'm just thinking might be a safe thing. So, if you are doing a piece on somebody famous, it might be good to just get a go ahead, just an okay from that person's end.
Harshu, if we may ask, what is
Sure.
your suggestion about if we do? Yes, Pritesh is doing a voting, I believe, in the chat box whether a society
Okay.
should be or could be formed or not. But
Uh-huh.
if the majority decides to
Mm.
it to be a yes, if we
Uh,
are going ahead with it, what
yeah.
would be your suggestion? Where should we start? What is the first step?
So have a meeting, I think, regularly once every month, like what was planned, I think, quite some time back. And then we had, I think, a couple of meetings on a monthly basis. Then it stopped. I think everybody's busy with their own work. So if we have a meeting once every month, that would be a nice way to start. And one more way to do something positive is, like, let's say you are right now. So, Ananda, you're in Jadapur, right? Where are you teaching right now?
I'm in BIT Mestra, Ranchi.
VIT Amrachi, okay. And so in the different places where each of you are, engaged in teaching, for example, those of you who are teaching or studying, if you can arrange events at your place
Yes,
with,
indeed.
let's say, so for example, if you can arrange some events at your places where comics are discussed, understood, that would be a good area for, us to step in maybe in an online session. So, for
True.
example, if in Kolkata some event can be done. So, Pritesh, where do you teach right now? I've forgotten. You've told me, but I've forgotten. Where do you teach, Pritesh? Remind me.
I teach at Maharaja College, Chandra College. That's an evening college in Sham
Mm-hmm.
Bajar, Kolkata.
Bazaar. So imagine if you can arrange an event over there for, let's say, 2 or 3 hours, where some comic creators in Kolkata can drop by, and comic researchers in Kolkata can drop by, and we can also have an online session, on comics and graphic novels with, some members of our team over here, dropping in, something like that. Is it possible to arrange something like that, an event like that?
Yes, definitely. But first, Horsho, we need to
Mm.
make sure that uh, we have joined here for one agenda, uh, which has a priority over the next one. That is the one you're saying. So yes, of course, Horsho, that can be
So
done,
that,
and that will be
yes.
done as we agreed, more, which is easier than forming a society and running it. However, again, the amount of commitment that
Mm.
we require for this is something that bothers me, because most of us do not live in Kolkata, and
Mhm.
most of us are not physically available all the time. But
Right.
anyway, that can be done, that will be done. I am 100% in with your
No,
idea,
what are that?
Horsho.
If we're doing
So am I.
something with our
So am
group,
I.
what you can try and do is if you within that segment. So I'm not saying restrict it to Kolkata only. So for example, Ananda, you said where are you based right now? Ananda?
I, I am in BIT Mestra, Ranchi.
Rachi. So imagine if you're having an event at BITM, right? So if you
Yes.
can have among the other, things that are happening, other
I am
discussions.
planning certain things, and once they are finalized, I'll certainly share with the group.
Very cool, very cool. So within that, apart from the other sessions, workshops, etc., that you're having over there, if you can have an online session as well, where you have some more people from comics researchers and creators participating. People from our group can also pitch in, and we can
Indeed.
join that way. So that might
Indeed.
be one way for us and our group to showcase that we are also there. And there you can mention so and so from so and so team. So our team will be very prominent that way. That's one way of making our team prominent in events, let's say in different cities. So that way you can keep can brand us as a segment where we discuss comics, where we're researching on comics, we're talking about comics. So that's an area. Another thing that you can try and do, I'm just suggesting, is if you can make a sort of a tri-monthly, I'm referring to a quarterly magazine or something that on comics in general, not actual comics in it. I'm talking about comics and different creators, different writers, and different things which are happening in the comic world around us. If you can have a small, even a
A
digital,
newsletter? A newsletter?
exactly, something like that, that would be, I think, that might work nicely. That's at least.
Pritesh?
Hmm.
Yes, apologies. Pritesh, do you
Yes.
think that maybe we can ask in the group about, actually, if we are going ahead with this, we need a name, right? Maybe the nomenclature and formation of a core committee. Should those be, on our agenda?
Yes, of course. I mean, first, if most of us agree that yes, we will go ahead with the formation of the group, as I have not seen any disagreement yet. Um, then the next, of course, the next step is to nominate. I don't know. I don't know. Elect. I don't know how that happened. Nominate amongst us a president, a chairman, a secretary, a treasurer, the nominal members of the so-called society. And yes, you can suggest names, of course, and we will work under the banner of that particular name. Others can suggest also, and Bruce Wayne is saying that he has something to share. Maybe he's going to share his bank accounts or something. After all, he's Wayne. So yes, of course. Let us all agree or disagree to the fact that to the idea that we are going ahead with the formation of the society. If anyone, Devika has not said anything, or recently joined people can see the pinned message in the messages. They can say yes or no, and they might share their experiences. Yes, Bruce Wayne, over to you.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask that, like, you spoke of the journal. Is that an online journal you're thinking of? Because
Yeah,
last time,
that
yeah, yeah,
is
please go on.
yeah, that I mean, my experience with the registration processes of journals, I don't know
Mhm.
what experiences others in the group have, but my
Right,
experience with the registration of journals is horrific. And
right,
in that horror, I found that it is always sane to go for the online version first and then the print version.
right. But sir, like, what I encountered that while I worked on the medieval comics thing that I sent you while I was in Troy, USA, because we need to spend a lot on buying a Google space for that. So did you think of the expenditure as well? If it's online, or it would be a free space kind of stuff?
No, it will not be free or anything. There will
Mhm.
be a website which will
All
not
right,
cost too much. I mean,
all
it will
right,
be a
sir.
normal domained website which costs around 2000 a year, and we
All
can
right,
simply upload the PDFs that we have from. This is how a normal journal works in India. In US, I think the thing is different, but
yeah,
in
yeah, absolutely.
India, we we,
Mhm.
we won't need your money to work. We can like arrange that. But
Okay,
let's I mean, the journal thing is very different from our agenda at this point in time.
all
we
right, sir.
we want to set up, we want to make a formal society out of Indians comics scholars group.
Mhm.
Do we all agree with it?
I
Devika,
do.
you have not. Yes, Bruce, you are okay with it. I
Yeah.
saw that. Devika and others who have joined recently, do you think this is a good idea? If you have any disagreements, please point out your experiences, which will help us to understand what we are dealing with here. Because, as Anonna said earlier, that are we biting off more than we can chew? And I assured that we are not doing anything that is impossible. We are not trying to do anything that is impossible or very strenuous on us, but it will require a single person taking some amount of responsibility, like the president, the chairman, the secretary, the treasurer, the members. They will have their responsibilities. We will nominate, we will elect amongst us a person who will have a kind of a authority here, and who will assign tasks to people, and people should or are supposed to do those things. And this is what I am scared of, that we there were like 18 people who signed in, and I was counting on Somanand and Anand Mohan, whom I cannot contact at this point in time, and we are 12 here. But that's still a good number. I mean, we can do it with this number, and it does not matter where we are located. We can always contribute, because this is more of a documenting. This is more of documentations. But yes, there will be a requirement for a few foot soldiers as well. So, do we all agree that we should form this society? First point. If
We
you
have
do
to
not
form a
agree,
society, but firstly, I would suggest have
yes.
a group meeting where you have more than 10 people or 12 people meeting. In fact, the first priority you should try to have is first have a group meeting where you're saying there are roughly around 180 people in our group, right?
Hmm.
But so far, in the couple of 2 or 3 meets we've had so far, I've basically seen, I think, all over a total of roughly around 20, 21. So try and see if everybody wants to join together in a group call where almost at least 60, 70 people are there. Then we get an idea of how committed they are, right?
Yeah, I
Otherwise, if you
mean,
start something and only just 10 people, 12 people are there, then that shows the lack of interest in a way. I just get the idea.
yes. See, that is what I was saying. Out of
That
these
is
12
Pritish's
people,
concern, I believe, isn't it?
yes, yes. So out of these 12 people, there will be like, I mean, it's like one of those Facebook memes, 10 people make a plan of going out somewhere, and 3 people drop out because Abba nahi manenge, and then so on and so forth. And there's just only one or two people. But um, I am still okay with this. Like, there will be some people who will be really committed to the cause of Indian comics, like Horsho, Ononna, and all the people who are present here. They do have valuable things to do, but still they are here. And I believe all the 12 that we are here, uh, we will be able to do it. And Horsho, we will never get so many people together, even on an online call. That's what my experience says, because I have been doing this since 2021. It's the 3 year running now, and I think it was formed in July 2021. So somehow it's the anniversary of ICS or something.
Oh,
But
nice, nice.
yeah, but this has been the case. Like, there were people who would show first,
Hmm.
and then for some other commitments they would drop this one. This is my whole you know issue. This is my whole concern, that
Might
we
have,
will
I
yeah.
think, have an event somewhere, man. I think have an event somewhere, and in that event, there's a chance that if something big is happening, then the others in the group will join up automatically, whether it's online or whether directly there. Otherwise, if it's just via the online thing where we are sharing thoughts and stuff on WhatsApp, that technically doesn't go that far. You have to actually have meetings, you have to have sessions, and you have to let people know. For example, the information that all of you know about comics, what you're researching on, so what you're dealing with, what you're working on in our case. So you have to let people know. You have to let other people know about it. You can't just keep it to yourselves and share it in the group and that's it. Let people know somehow. Somehow have events. Somehow that's the unfortunate situation in India is that we all think we know a lot and we do a lot, but the mass population they are getting to know nothing of it because the media isn't helping at all. And as a result, if we don't try to let others know through some means or the other, then we'll still remain in like right now comics as a business is in a very bad state in our country. It's in a horrible state. So in Kolkata right now we don't have a single proper comics unit. We don't have a comics group. We don't have a comics company. That's why this Mad Bongs group that we are trying to at least form an association. We are doing something via law. And even there are hurdles. One or two of the members are actually bouncing out. They're saying we can't do this. So this, but we have to do. In India, if we want to propagate comics in our country, if we want to make the comics thing happen, we have to try and push forward and put the idea of comics into the minds of people all around us somehow. Because as a result, comics, from what I've seen in the last year, talking with various units who teach like Mac and other places where animation, video games, etc. are taught, and quite a lot. Whenever I talk to them about comics, they say comics doesn't have a market, and there's no sense in people learning about comics because there are no jobs there. We have to slowly change the idea, the mentality of people in our country somehow, so that they start understanding it, they start liking it. At least that's the intent of our comic creators who are left in our country. And as far as you comic researchers, you need to show people what you know about it, right? So that way we have to let the public understand what the situation is now, what was happening earlier, what we're expecting in the future to come. So that way, to make people aware, you should have as many events as possible. Like events, I'm talking about even Chotas online events also, where the common people get to have an idea of what exactly comics stand for. Otherwise, they will stay in the same sphere. Like people in West Bengal think of Batul Digre as the end in comics. People in North Kolkata, North India rather, think of Raj Comics as the BN, Be All and all things. So that mentality has to change. We have to let people know that things are moving on. Comics is an ever changing thing. We right now have more web comics done in our country than actual printed comics. But even then, people are clueless because only few companies, the ones who outsource the work, only they are the ones who know about the comics which are happening. Public doesn't get to know. Just a thought.
Yes, Harsho, those are the next steps, but that is something that we all would love to do, and we would ask you to take the lead as to what do you mean by organizing an online event, some kind of competition you're talking about, or some awareness activities online or offline. We will ask you to do the lead, but today's meeting is about the formation of the society, which is more like a informal thing, a formal thing, sorry. And in the group, there will always be people who would show less interest, and there will be people who would be showing more interest. In any enterprise, there will be a few people who would start something, and then gradually people will join. So the agenda of the meeting was whether we can have this society. Most of us said yes, and most of us said that they will help in some ways they can. Okay, so so it's decided that we are going ahead with the formation of the society, right? Do you, if anyone has any other opinion, then they can unmute or say or mention in the message, or we will proceed to the next thing that we should talk about, that is the formation of the committee that will engine this idea into a reality. And then finally we will decide, as under Horsho's mentorship, as to what should be the exact uh, way ahead, like what, where are we going to meet next, where are we going to meet next physically, if not possible where are we going to meet next online to do something really solid, and that Horsho will tell us. But as I said, let's decide who are going to be the the people who are going to spearhead this thing. But first, let us hear from people who have not spoken about whether they are okay with it or not, because most of the people over here are from different parts of the country. And Devika, you have not yet responded. Are you there? Like, is it anything? Is it any
Hello.
problems?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
Pritesh, I'm very much here.
Okay.
Have been listening to you all. And yes, I completely agree to this society, the formation of the society. I completely agree to that. Actually, it's a very good idea. Just go forward with this idea. And I'm also, happy to. Uh, I think I'm audible. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
we can
you're
hear you.
audible. Yes.
Yes. Okay. And right now I'm somewhat busy with writing my chapters for my research. So, but I do completely agree with going up with this idea of this society, but not into I can help you in whatever way I can, but in spearheading any committee or so. I think I'm afraid not now, but later on I will just join you all in the committee. Is that okay?
Mm,
Otherwise,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, yes, a very big yes from me.
Okay. All right.
Uh,
So,
Thank you.
anyone who, I mean, you can always join, you can always leave, you can always, it's not an
Is it
underworld mafia group
possible,
that we are making.
Ritesh, is it possible
Yes.
for you to share or create a Google document where
Yes.
we can, sort of write down what are the different tasks the committee will have on a monthly basis?
Yes.
What are the things
Yes.
to do? And within that area, you can give a slot, an area for those who are interested in helping out in that to give them.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that you're saying,
Anand
right? So
Mohan
who
is
will be
here. Hello, Anand. Thank you for joining.
great?
Yes, Horsho, I am on it. I have turned on the caption now, which is getting recorded, and it will be turned into a document.
Right, right.
Yes, so Anand Mohan told Anand Mohan left the meeting. Okay. Okay, fine. So I think Anand Mohan finally joined, and we can learn
He
from
left
him
as well.
about this situation. Yes. So the next thing is who is going to be the president, the chairman, the secretary, the treasurer, and a list of members, 5 members, say. Okay. So who wants to go for the post of the president?
Pritesh, I don't think we need to decide that right now. Maybe we can
Hmm.
share a Google Doc, write up all the duties, and sort of, do a voting in the group about the
Exactly.
nomenclature and the core committee.
Exactly. Makes sense that. So give it over there, give it a shot, like create a Google Doc. Let the people, mention what they want to be. So for example, you're saying, right, who wants to be this in the core committee. So you put that option over there and give a space for people to give their names over there. And later on, after the form is filled up in, let's say, about 5 or 6 days, after that you have the voting there. Everybody can vote for the different segments, and then the person who's chosen. But before that, I think you should clearly outline what exactly the duties of the different people are. So for example, for the treasurer, what exactly is his duty? This is not a company as such, right? This is a group. So in that group, what exactly is a core job for the different members? If you don't do that, then some members may not understand clearly what their duties of the different disciplines are there. So if you can outline that clearly, and you can start the voting after that, and let people decide. I just a thought. Sharing what I thought, because we try to do something recently like that in another group, and this problem, you have to make people understand what the different roles are, especially in this organization. What are the things a treasurer will have to do? This is not a company per se, this is a group. So in the group, what exactly does the treasurer have to do? So these things, you put the notes over there, you let the people know.
Yes. So I mean, the voting or the self nominations could be done in the group, as well as in a kind of a physical meeting. But the thing is that we all have our experiences from some organizations that we have been working elsewhere. So, for example, president presides over the meetings and takes away the points and makes the meeting function. So does the chairman. But the president, the chairman, the members, the treasurers are all nominal uh, people. They are just there for the signing of the documents. As far as the society registration is concerned, so I am not talking about who would like to take a particular role in general, but it's just for the formation of the society for the time being. And then we can definitely keep this rolling, and this could keep happening over a period of time. But we need to decide people who will take up some sort of responsibility right now. Whoever is in the meeting means they are serious about the society. Whoever is not, even after telling about this for so long to so many people, and according to the message info, there are more than hundreds of people who saw the messages and they
Mm.
did not bother to join. So we need to be sure as early as possible.
For instance, I'm perfectly okay handling, social media and publicity because I do that. I right now at my own organization, I'm in charge of the LinkedIn page of the Alumni Association. So I'm the coordinator of that. I do that. I do have my own website, although I've been neglecting it for a while now. But I am perfect. Just to give an example, if somebody else
Hmm.
is interested, obviously they can also chip in. They can also do this. But just to put it out there, I'll be perfectly okay in handling, publicity, social media, advertisement, etc.
Yes, Shahid is writing, we should have some initial duties for respective posts in the formation of the society. For now, I think you should take the post of the president. No, this is not the how the thing is done. I mean,
Ritesh,
fine.
let's do the Google
Hmm.
Doc. Let's do the
Hmm.
Google Doc where we can also,
Hmm.
put out the options of names and also, put out a duty list. And,
Hmm.
we'll have people, put their names against the duties that they are comfortable doing, and then we can have the voting.
Okay, fine. So that works. Parvez, you need to do this. You need to create a Google Doc. I will share you the username and password of the Indian Comic Scholars email. You will create the Google Doc where you will enlist these names, and through another Google form that will be connected to the Google Doc, there will be people who would self nominate themselves or nominate other people. Does that sound good, on Horsho and others?
Makes sense. Makes
Makes
sense.
sense. Yeah.
Keep the Google Doc and share it in our group only, na. So that's what you're meaning, right? That's what you're saying,
Yes,
Pritesh,
of
right?
course, of course.
Share
I
it in a
mean,
group.
right now we will not go public with this.
No, no, no sense in going public. But even then, so for example, the last option you shared, which day do you want to have the meeting? In the
Hmm.
end, you saw only about what maximum 70 to 80 people responded. So
Yes.
that's a sad thing, right? If your group has 180 members and only 18 of 180 are responding, that shows a lack of enthusiasm. Still, for this one, hopefully it'll grow slightly in
Yeah, it
number.
will grow. I mean, the day I started this,
Mm,
we were like three or four people in
okay,
the group, and there was this person from some Oxford University, or I don't know what university. That
okay.
person said that your idea is meant to fail. No one is going to join. No one is going to, form a group of silly Indian comic scholars. And it happened. We are 182. Okay, fine. We are serious 18, serious 20. But we are 182 now, and we will grow. We will have more serious people, sure. And maybe any. so many things are there. So there are so many aspects to a group, and how a group functions, and some people might find other kinds of things more interesting. And it is a sad thing that out of 180 we are just 10 or 12 who always
What you
uh,
can try and do is
interact.
you can try and organize an event online only just for us
Yeah, do
on,
that,
let's say,
for
WhatsApp,
sure.
where,
Yes, you
saying
take the lead on
events
it, as Ononna
we
took the lead
have,
for the formation of.
we can, but I think since you are in touch with most of them, but
No,
most of them are,
I'm not in touch with
by
most
in
of them.
touch I mean you know most of them, right? At least you talk to most of them. So
Uh,
that way, if you can arrange, and think of an event where let's say for 2 or 3 hours, we are all going to be online because all of us will be talking and discussing, let's say, two or three relevant points in, I don't know, in graphic novels, comics, web comics, etc. We are talking about two, three things, and all of us can be together that way. So more people can, I don't know, might give a chance for more people to join in and have their say. So what I'm trying to say is get do something online which involves as many people as you can in our group.
okay, sure. Harsho, you give us the idea that what should we do, when should we do it, how should we do it.
Do it this month. Do it sometime this month. And
Fine,
goes well.
you
The
set the
modalities.
thing going. Yes.
All right. Now, and I will keep in touch and we'll try and share an idea where, let's say, by the end of the month, we'll have
Yeah.
an event on, let's say, an easy day for everybody at a given time when, let's say, 10 p.m. or something like that, when everybody will be, free for 1 hour or so. So in
Yeah.
that 1 hour, we'll talk about different points, aspects of comics. Nothing which gives anybody the feel that he or she will have a problem being there, but something in a positive way we were showing some good things in the field of comics, whatever, in how the market is going, how the field is going, how research is going. So let's say maybe not too much at night. Sorry, it should be slightly earlier than that. If we are wanting for at least 2 3 hours of discussion, it should be at least slightly earlier, maybe 8 to 10 or 8 to 11, something like that. So whatever, I'll discuss with Ananda and we'll come up with a plan for that. But either the end of this month or maybe the start of next month, if we can arrange this. And more importantly, I think what we can try and do on that, we can share it. And Pritesh also will help us with this. We'll share it in the group, and that way we'll get an idea of a feel of how many people are interested. So if we have a good, show of hands of people who want to be there and talk about this or talk about that, we can actually do one thing. We can give everybody, those who want to be there in the event, let's say 10 minutes to talk about one particular topic on graphic novels or comics. So everybody has a say. So everybody's researching in a group is researching or doing work in some field or the other on some topic or the other, right? So why don't we give a chance to everybody to showcase what they are doing? Let the others know what you're working on. So that gives them a chance to also, feel free to let out their feelings. In any case, that will take up, I think at least 2 hours, 3 hours will be needed for that thing. More importantly, it will get a chance for all of us to be there together on the group. And so these points which you're talking about, Pritesh, right? Who will take care of what? I think we'll get an idea there and then and there very clearly who can take care of what, or if those designations have already been selected, we can see how fruitful they are in the process. Technically, right now the jobs won't be terribly hard or terribly complex, so I think it can easily be done.
Yes. So yeah, we will be you be that, and you charge of that, and you take the lead, and you do whatever is needed to be done to make it happen. So Ononna left the meeting, and I don't know if she doesn't join back. What is the takeaway from this meeting is that we are going um, to form this association. This we would give this a formal touch, and as decided, Parvez, or as dictated by me, sorry, Parvez will create a Google Doc that he will share in the group, and we will all be able to comment on it, if not edit it. And he will write down the names of the posts that I will mention to him again personally. And there will be another Google form that will be created with the names of the posts and the duties enlisted over there. And all of us who are present here, or all of us who are present in the group, will fill in nominations, self nominations, or nominations for others, according to whatever we know about ourselves or others. And then we will have the formal list of members, because in order to form a society, we need to have a list of formal names against the role of the president, the role of the chairman, the role of the treasurer, so on and so forth. Okay. And also we need to contribute a little amount of money. Now this makes it further complicated. Whenever money comes, it becomes a little complicated, but we do not have any other source of funds unless someone comes up with some source of funding. But it will require only, say, 50 rupees or 25 rupees per head from each of the members, if all of us do contribute, or most of us contribute, even less then. It will not be a big amount, but we need to contribute some amount of money, maybe that is 100 rupees or 50 rupees, depending upon how many of us ultimately end up contributing. And then we will have the thing going. Okay, so I guess um, Ononna is facing some difficulty regarding
If everything gets a
joining.
go ahead, I think there's some legal thing that has to be done. Hitesh?
No requirement of lawyers at this point in time. We don't
Okay.
need to go to the lawyers.
Okay. So if,
But
for example, you
yes.
need some money for the whole thing, and everybody has to chip in with 50 bucks, 100 bucks, whatever. So
Hmm.
why don't you make an check with the banks as to how to share a code or something through which we can make the payments? So that might be easier that way, right?
I mean, yeah, we need to first we need to decide who is going to do what, because we need to submit a formal list to the society's registration office. And then we need to also submit the a bank account, which will be technically in the name of the society, and where this amount will go in, and that is the function of the treasurer. Whoever is going to be the treasurer is just going to keep a tab of the earnings, the and the spendings. Yes, Bruce, you want to say something?
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
yes.
fine with any monetary contribution like that needs to be done. And also, I can speak with a bank regarding this registered account that you spoke of, if that's fine,
Yes,
and create an account or something like
yes,
that.
please do. Please do that. Please do
I'll get
that.
back to you on this. I'll
Yes,
take
great.
2 to 3 days and I'll find it out.
So I think we already got a treasurer.
I'm not very good with the numbers, but anyways, like
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
No
I
problem.
mean,
I'll
this
I'll
is
find it
how.
out and get
Yeah,
back to
yeah.
you.
Find it out. Get back to me by next Wednesday, maybe. Let's set
Yeah, yeah.
deadlines.
Before that,
To yeah.
yeah, maybe
Okay.
by Monday I'll find it out and get back to you by evening.
Sure. Great. So we got one foot soldier in the form of Parvez and Afrin. You said you live in Kolkata. Do you think you can go to an office or two? Maybe yes, I will accompany you. Maybe once you have to go on your own to submit documents. Maybe to submit a response to a query that they send. Is that okay, Afrin?
Absolutely fine, sir.
Great, great. So another foot soldier found, and this is how this is going to be. Okay, fine. So this is what we take away from our meeting today. Number one, we are going forward registering ICS as a formal group with whatever name. Anonna has a name in her mind and she will share it with us, and we will vote whether we like it or not. Secondly, we are going to form a formal board, a formal committee where there will be people from this group, from the ICS group, not this meeting group, but the ICS group. And Parvez will take up the activities that I already mentioned. Bruce Wayne will manage the bank thing. Afrin will do some amount of going about some offices where I will help her out, and I as a person, as I as a member, would further uh, know as to what the process is for the formal registration, what documents we need to collect from where, and how to go about it if anything doesn't go wrong in the meantime. All right, so that's all that I have to say today. If anyone else, Horsho or anyone else, needs to round up or conclude or say something, add, you can go ahead, no problem.
All good, Videsh, all good.
Okay, so I guess yes, I guess Ononna won't be able to join in. Um, so let's call it a day today, and let's make this thing, whatever we discussed here, make it known to the people in the group. And Parvez Parvez is going to do that because he's going to write the thing up, and this is in the site. This is in the CC, and you can see whatever is written. That will help you. I'll share you the video link. Okay, so let's call it a day today. It was a fruitful meeting, and yes, Horsho, you the other thing that I forgot is that Horsho is going to tell us what event we are going to do next, where, how, right, Horsho?
Sure, I'll think of the
Yes.
topic which any of you have suggestions. Please do share on the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, yeah. Share that on the WhatsApp group. Yes.
Imagine basically it's a 2 hour session where all of us get to know who each other are, who you all are, and if we can all talk about comics in that 2 hour session, 2 hour session, that would be nice. I would suggest basically on the topics you're researching in, just give a 5 minute chat about what you're dealing with, so that will be good for everybody to know what you are doing, right? So and what area of field you
হ্যাঁ
are in,
বলুন
so what sort of comics you're into,
হ্যাঁ
that sort
বাড়িতে
of stuff.
বলো
Just give a brief introduction of yourself, and then if you can focus a little bit on the Indian comic scenario and the
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
comic
আমি
scenario
আমি না
outside
তোমাকে
India,
ওটা
that would
হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে
be a
লিখে
good thing.
পাঠিয়ে দিচ্ছি
So I'll plan and I'll share in the group, and you can all give me your thoughts on that.
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
Yes, no, change in topics,
হুম
etc.
হুম
So
হুম হুম
I'll be sharing that very soon once I've
হ্যাঁ
had
হ্যাঁ
a chat
আমি
with our friends.
আমি
So
লিখে
we'll
পাঠাচ্ছি
talk
হ্যাঁ
very
হ্যাঁ
soon, and I'll share
ঠিক
it in
আছে
the group,
ঠিক আছে
right?
ওকে
So
রাখছি
nice chat, Videsh. Nice organization, nice group meeting, and good to meet all of you over here. So hope to catch up with all of you soon. And Videsh, try to see if you can have a meeting. I think once every month or so. That will give more of a chance to others to also join in. I think given the time, like for me, it was a tough thing. In the morning for me would have been easier. In the evening, we're having some work going on at home, so I found it
yeah
tough to join in. Maybe that's the
yeah
reason why most others have also joined up. Give them
so
a easier day.
yeah, I totally agree with you, Harsho. Koel, Ashish, Devika, uh, because you guys, have do live elsewhere. Ashish, where do you live? Where are you located?
Sir, Bihar.
Bihar. Fine.
Yeah.
So Ashish, Koel, and Devika, could you three or together, or any one of you, create this link every month and keep poking people, because as Indians, I guess we need a lot of poking. That come and join the meeting, come and join the meeting. Can you guys do this? Like, I mean, can you bring out time from your difficult schedules and make this happen? Ashish, Koel, and Devika.
Sure.
Okay. Sure,
Okay,
sir.
fine. So you three guys will be the pokers, and don't I won't call you jokers because Bruce Wayne might attack you. So you will be the
Nice
pokers.
one, Kapil.
You will be the pokers who will create the link, who would be in charge of the meetings, and you will keep you know asking people to join, and whenever you say that, Horshow, me, and other people who wants other people to join also, we will also push for the meeting, right? So, okay, with that role, all three of you, yes. Devika is okay. Koel
Hitesh, just
is,
before we
yes.
sign off,
Yeah.
if I may,
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
like down the line, can we organize a conference on comics, if that's possible?
It will require funds. Do you have funds?
Okay. I can speak to some of uh, comic organization back in US that I know of
Yeah.
and do something about it.
Great, great. Go
At least
ahead,
we
do that.
can. Okay, I'll get back to you on this.
Yeah, sure. Note it down. Make
All
a
right,
note of
all
it.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right.
And even if we have a paucity of funds in the first version or in the first season, can we go for something virtual if we don't have that much fund? But at least I can gather something if I can.
Yeah, I mean, we will go for the virtual thing. We will, of course,
All right.
go for the virtual thing. I mean, that will be that. I mean, we don't have that much of money to organize a,
Right.
or
Right.
manpower to organize a, in-person
All right.
conference.
No problem.
Okay, guys.
Kapil.
Yeah. Yes. Continue,
Thank you so
Bruce.
much.
Sorry. Sorry.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. No problem. No problem. Thank you. That's
Okay.
all.
All right. So thank you guys for being here for so long, and I hope some great things